you for that wonderful talk, Doc Sarah. Ang gaganda naman talaga ng ating mga programa sa DOST. Nakasama pa yung mental health-based policies. Kasi talaga namang very relevant siya sa society today. Mapa young ones man o mapa once young pa.
Wow, ang ganda ng Miss Cha. Young ones and once young. Dahil nga, totoo naman na ang mental health-related issues ay walang pinipiling edad. Anyway, thank you so much for that. As we move forward, let's all listen to our last plenary speaker for this afternoon, but definitely not the list, that will be discussing for us the efforts in policy making and how this policy is essential in the science, technology, and innovation ecosystem. Ladies and gentlemen, from the National Academy of Science and Technology, let's welcome Engineer Ernie Brown.
Good afternoon, everybody. In the spirit of giving credit to whom credit is due, I would like to start this presentation by saying that what I will present to you is not just my work or the work of past. It is the work of a lot of stakeholders, a lot of people, and not only in this generation, but even the generations before. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. Okay, question. What is the relation of procurement to innovation? Alam niyo na po yung sagot. But let me give you a story. So this is an off-the-grid Lumad community in Davao del Norte. They live far flung. They're known as a geographically isolated and disadvantaged area community. Wala silang kuryente. And so they live off of kerosene lamps. And sometimes they even have to burn chinelas at night para lang magkaroon sila ng ilaw. Hindi ba sila nare-reach ng ating electrification efforts kasi nga malayo sila? An alternative would be solar-powered, what's called the solar home system, but that is too expensive for them because they only make around 4,000 pesos per month per household. A unit is around 25,000. So come in, ang ating researchers, our heroes from the University of Southeastern Philippines, headed by Engineer Filman Sipao, being innovated the solar home system para maging affordable yung payment system using RFIDs and all of that. So ngayon, next slide. Here, featuring that innovation and the light bulb. That was the first light bulb in that community. For us, this light bulb is a simple matter. But for them, this light bulb is life-changing. Next slide. Ito po si April, a 10-year-old elementary student. We interviewed her. Sabi niya, sobrang thankful siya for that innovation. Kasi ngayon, hindi niya na kailangan maghanap ng chinelas na susunugin para lang makapag-aral sa gabi. So, hindi na kailangan yung mga chinelas na walang kapas. And so, they are very thankful. So, I want to relate this to procurement. One time, we visited the project. I was talking to Engineer Filman. He was sharing his experience in their project. Tapos maiyak-iyak siya. Teary-eyed yung siya. Not because of the heartwarming stories or the life change, but because of the frustration and the difficulty that they experience in the procurement. Sino ba sa inyo ang may similar story? Wala? I'm sure madami. And I asked him, could I share his story with you? Sabi niya, by all means. Here, I would just like to highlight some of his email. So what happened was the suspending project nila because of delays in the procurement. And he said that the suspension resulted from delayed procurement, forced their workforce to seek alternative sources of income, disrupting the continuing instability of work. Kailangan sa magandang ng resources. It had a profound impact on productivity, and it caused significant trauma and loss of motivation to him and to his team due to the prolonged delay. What is the result of delayed procurement of our innovation system? Number one, pag-delay ng procurement, delay ng innovation delivery. Number two, ang ating pong mga SME talents, they become frustrated, they become heartbroken. That results of unmaximized SME talent. That is just the story of one project. And tulad po ng nabanggit kanina ni Secretary Solido, this is untested really. Imagine the impact if we consider that we need to feed 142 million Filipinos. We're number 1 in World Disaster Risk Index. We need to make a more habitable Earth. There's geopolitical tensions, and we're preparing for the next global pandemic. Sabi po natin sa SNT Convention po, innovation ay solusyon. Pero, next slide, yung procurement naging consumption. Hindi po yan that's not just my personal view, that's not just be shared here. It has been documented. There have been multiple studies. If anyone could share again, so tingin niyo, yung earliest study namin on the left, when was this written? Any year? 1980? 70? This was written in 1956. The problem has been documented for at least 68 years. And so, last year we had an opportunity to somehow address that problem. Because last year, next slide please, the procurement law was So the procurement law was named a top priority. Next slide. So NAS saw that opportunity and formed an ad hoc committee of procurement to participate in the legislative process of the revision. So the ad hoc committee is composed of NAS members and committee fellows, and eventually we had the UP Procurement Office Director to provide us the legal expert and the procurement expert. I would just like to summarize our initiatives in 4 elements. Number 1, we have to make sure that, of course, we are scientists here, that all our diagnoses and our recommendations are evidence-based. So we did data gathering and analysis. We looked at all the studies that I showed you earlier. We benchmarked in different laws outside. We looked at the best practices. And of course, kinalaking sa may problema ba talaga? Ano ba talaga ang problema? Ang problema ba ay policy? Ang problema ba ay culture? Ang problema ba ay institutionalized pa? So we had to do all of that. Next, we came up with the solutions. Okay, we came up with position papers and we actually drafted an entire bill. Reflecting what we wanted to happen. Next, communication and participation. So of course, we have that paper, we have the bill. We had to communicate that. In communication, we had to make sure that we were relevant, we had significant points, we had weight as well. We had the right people in the table. We had to participate, not only here in the meeting position paper, but we participated in all of the technical working meetings with the Senate. We requested the audience of our senators and their legislative officers so that we would be heard. Next is proactive customer persistence. So kailangan namin na maging proactive. Pag hindi namin invite, kung kami invite. Persistence is hirap eh. So kailangan push lang po tayo. But last, I'd like to highlight that we did all of this in synergistic and strategic partnerships. We did not do this alone. We did this with a lot of people who from different sectors, there are suppliers, there are researchers, there are policymakers. It was multi-generational. We had the young ones and the ones young. And it had partnerships and collaboration. So just to give you a picture of who were part of this effort. So I tried to capture somehow yung mga tao. Kung hindi nyo na po makita yung mga mukha. And that's what happens when we work together. Sometimes your face becomes a drop in the big ocean of all the stakeholders. And that's okay. Because we are working towards the same objective. So in evidence-based policy reforms, through synergistic and strategic partnerships, I believe that now, next slide please, that now we have a better procurement system that accommodates the unique needs of science, technology, and innovation. So the new Government Procurement Act was signed in July 2024. And because of the efforts of many of the stakeholders, now we have first, ang inilaban ko, with the leadership of ASEC Dayan Ignacio in the House, we have a direct acquisition, 200,000, no need for bidding, which is nice. But secondly, we also have a direct procurement for science, technology, and innovation. No need for public bidding, if it's for SME, direct na. Okay, now, sino po gusto niyo innovation? na masyado. Okay. Next. Question is, are we there yet? Is it right? The answer, of course, is not yet. Why? It's just the legal framework. The legal framework alam mo. We need to implement it. Now we're working on implementing rules and regulations. Last week, in the past 2 weeks, we've had a lot of meetings, 300 and 400 attendees, really to craft the IRR, which we submitted to the GP. Of course, we need to put in the proper institutional guidelines, to put in the proper capacity, and to put in accountability mechanisms and promote culture of integrity. So I'd like to end with this. Again, together, we can make a difference. Again, this effort was not just us. So una po na importante ito sa aming class, our principals, academician, Jimmy Montoya, and Director Nikki was very supportive all throughout, kaya medyo may lakas po kami ng loob para pumunta sa Senado. But also, of course, our DOS here and other teachers. So we had Yusek Lea, we had Asep Dayan, we had Yusek Fred, we had Director Lita, who were there, really helping us. But most importantly, of course, Secretary Sulido. You know, the reason why we were well received by the Senate, at talagang tinanong nila, nagkaroon kami ng one time na talagang 2 hours dedicated to us. The reason was because Secretary had already talked, according to the Chief of Staff of Senator Angara. He had already talked to Senator Angara. Kaya si Senator Angara, may instruction talaga to really hear the R&D community. And that is really important for us. So again, together, we can make a difference. We are not yet done, there's a lot of work. I'd like to, this call to action, I'd like to encourage you to be part of this initiative. So right now, we are doing the IRR. Next, we're going to put the institutional guidelines. So para po magawa natin ito ng tama, tayo po ay magsama-sama. I'd like to end with this slide. I'll borrow the theme of this convention. Dahil ang innovasyon ng solusyon, tayo ay magtrabaho ng sama-sama tungo sa isang bayuni ng masagana at mabuting. Maraming salamat.
Thank you so much as well for the very